Hello everybody, my name is Hellkaiser and welcome back to Resi 2. We are in Umbrella's secret lab, and Ada is now missing, and we got a bunch of these things chasing after us. Okay. No, get off me. Okay, moving on. I'm not quite sure where we need... Oh yeah, I was supposed to go back this way. I dumped some gear so I could carry that fuse and stuff. It's been a few days since I recorded this. I had some medical stuff. Okay, why are you here when you weren't here before? Oh, crap, I just went back out the same door I came in. That's intelligence. And I got eaten alive. Let's just load that. Okay, now try that again. Okay. I get kind of confused sometimes. It's been a couple of days. Like I said, I've had a lot going on. I've had a lot of back pain. I had to go to the doctor about it, and that's not no fun. And I had to sit there through. Get off me. I'm tempted just to burn all them up with the flamethrower, but I don't want to waste the ammo. Because now I'm down to using just my big weapons, like my shotgun and my magnum and stuff like that, and I don't want to toss those away too easily. But at the same time, I'm not carrying any healing resources, so I'm at more of a bigger risk. So it's like it's an interesting system because of that, because you got this like play style where you have to manage your resources and stuff like that, but at the same time, you know, there's a risk reward. Should you take more heavy items or should you take more healing items? You know, and if you got the bigger weapons, you might not need to heal because you're not going to be at as big a risk, you know. I really like the systems and the design. Okay, so what are you? This is the fuse case. So what is a fuse case exactly? Is that the fuse or? Yeah, I got some spray. Anything else I need here? So I got a fuse case, but I don't have a fuse. Is there anything inside the case? Fine. I should have put up the stupid ribbons. I don't know why I didn't. The case for individual fuses has been designed for the superconductor fuses. Okay, so it's just a case, I think. But let me hit the button and double check. No, that's how it works. Oh, is it extracting this or something? Okay, now I got the main fuse. Now I need to set that fuse. I would head back to the save room just so I could dump those ribbons, and I might end up having to do that, but for now I just don't want to risk getting attacked again. Every time I go through there I get bit at least once. There we go. Main fuse. Huge breaker system regulates all the power in the lab. Okay, how do I like turn it on then? Or does that just mean that it is on from the start? Okay, so that's just the way I came in. I don't think that there's anything back this way. Maybe that just powered on the elevator. Because I don't have, like, key cards or nothing for here. Wow, that was a big speed reduction there. Better sword. Okay, oh, that... Oh, oh shit. I'm bringing up the heavy flamers for this much heresy. Oh, they're not even showing up. Yeah. Do you mind? Are you serious? I didn't even get my gun raised. Okay. That didn't go well. We're finally getting to the part where Resident Evil is actually starting to become more difficult, and we gotta actually really pay some attention here. Okay, so try not to get hit there. And just be ready when I open that shutter this time. Crap, get off me! So there's almost no way to avoid getting bit there unless I was to take the flamethrower and burn all these guys up. Go ahead and have it equipped just so I'm ready. Okay, follow the blue path. All the way down here. Grab the medical spray. Grab the fuse case. Use the fuse case. Fast forward all this since we just saw it a minute ago. There we go. That's one great thing about emulation, is that you can speed up slow parts that kind of have plagued some of these older games. And I really appreciate stuff like that, because sometimes I just want to replay an old classic, you know, but there's a lot of problems with some of these old, like JRPGs. You know, like there's a lot of grinding sometimes in those games, and you're sitting there for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes sometimes, or even longer, just going through the motions. Okay, power restored. Now, let's see what's behind this door before we go back to that one. I do love how the monsters start to become less and less human and stuff as you go further and further through the game. I think that that's really good game design. You know, it starts off with just like your average zombies, you know, nothing that's not that difficult to deal with. But it quickly starts to expand to the lickers, and then from the lickers it evolves into more 2 or more staff need to be present to enter. Commence with fingerprint verification. Not on file. So I can't go this way. And then I'll need a key for this area. Yeah. So can't do nothing here, so that means going back to that other area. I'm going to drop a quick save before I open that shutter, because I don't want to get killed again by the stupid plant monsters. Also, that's another thing I love about emulation, is see, like, instead of having to go back to the save point and start all over from the animation at the death scene and all that, you have a little bit more of an instantaneous revive. It's more like a modern game design. Did that even burn them? One of them's burned. I don't know about the other. There we go. 88 fuel, so that the fuel burns very quickly. Is there anything? That flashing light from that box being off the box is very annoying. It makes things difficult. And like I said before, it's not a problem with the smoothing I've done on the 2D backgrounds. The problem actually arises from the fact I'm using 16 times native resolution. that's above 4K. So realistically, it's probably just super sampling a lot of this. But when it does that, that's what causes the problem. So it's not exactly any problem other than the fact this game was never supposed to be this upscaled. So it's an upscaling issue. He won't go through the door. There we go. One problem about these older games is there's somewhat unresponsive control schemes. I don't care what you say, you know. I like I said, I like the tank. Shit, fire. Sounded like my grandmother there. Did that not hit him? Certainly did that time. Where are you? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. How many more of you are there? There we go. But like I said, you know, ultimately, as long as you try to keep yourself well equipped, you're not really in that much danger of death or anything, and I really like the way it's designed in that regard. It becomes a power fantasy, even though there's new dangerous monsters running around, you still are better equipped. Like I said, now I'm not just carrying a little pistol that can't take down a zombie in one shot. I am carrying big, heavy weapons and stuff, and I really appreciate the way that they design that. I hope I don't get in trouble for carrying that extra herb. Okay, what's the heck is that? Solid-looking shutter blocks the passageway. Direct gateway to the underground platform. There's a disc slot. The monitor says insert verification MO disc to open the gate. Okay, the monitors aren't syncing up like they should. That's another upscaling issue. A map of the lab is available here. Will you file the laboratory map? Yes, I could actually use that. Okay, so this is quite a few rooms here that we haven't checked yet. There's only about 2 to 3, but you know what I mean. Okay, so we have a safe box here. Thank goodness. I need to dump some of this stuff. I still have no idea what this white box key is for, and I don't... Does it say any description on it? An odd-shaped key. Umbrella's logo is on the key. So it's got to be of some importance here. So I'll also dump this for now. And that's about all I'm carrying with me. And then drop a save state. Okay, I'll just take this right back because I don't ever really use it. I've always found the red herbs and stuff to be completely useless in Resident Evil and stuff like that because, yes, you can use them to make a more powerful potion, but ultimately, why would you bother taking up that many inventory slots? I feel like that was something that the remake should have ditched for all the things that it's done. I honestly preferred the way that Resi 6 was handling, and 7 was handling, like, health things. Which, if I'm not mistaken, they might have had red herbs or something like that in 7, but all I remember was there was like that packet, and it would make like normal bullets into special bullets, and it would make a normal potion into a bigger... What the heck was that? Great. The doorway is open with a card key. So I guess I go to the lab. Wonder what horrors will await us here. That's also creepy because I use action recording software, and it tells me how much hard drive space I have left while I'm recording. And right now it's on 666. And then I hear a zombie growl. It's tightly locked. Oh crap, so the zombies are actually moving towards me. We use the weapon box key. You take the magnum part. Okay, so yes, that box key was something useful. I told you. Okay, combine with my magnum. Oh yeah. Desert Eagle 50 cal. 10-inch barrel is put on the Desert Eagle so it can fire .50 rounds more powerfully. Oh yeah. Are you the only one? I guess I can let you take a nibble there. There we go. Save me a bullet. I honestly like that system, because you have to think, do I need health, or do I need ammo? And it's, again, everything in this game is honestly magnificently thought out. It's amazing how a long time ago, you know, there's better systems in games than there are nowadays. Like I said, I don't mean to sound like I'm some, you know, retro enthusiast, you know, because I'm not really that into retro games, but I do like to call it as I see it, and I'm telling you, sometimes these older games, they understood, I think, what makes a game more than we do nowadays. Crap. I'm taking too much damage now. That wasn't intentional to let him get a hold of me. Stand up and face your judgment. Okay, that time his head just popped clean off. There we go. Okay, there's a key card or something there. Lab card key, there we go. Anything? Okay, that looks like bullets or something right there. Well, it looks like it's on one side, and then it looks like it's on the other side. See, I'm guessing maybe that's just some sort of like lab stuff. Also, see, I don't like how I get hung on the environments even when they're not there. Now, that might be, again, a problem with the upscaling, but it looks like sometimes there's something, you know, I should be able to move, and then I'm not able to move, and I will say that is an annoyance. These older games ain't perfect by any means, but I like the design. You know, like I said, everything is purposeful, and I guess what I love about this time period is, you know, you look at stuff like Cyberpunk. They just released, as of March 23rd, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the patch 1.52. And I've been playing the game on PS5. I bought it on PC, but I got, like, for 20 bucks the PS4 version at Walmart or something. And so I honestly figured they'd put more effort into the console version, probably, than they would the PC version. That's my personal opinion. You know, and it get your thoughts together, and then you can speak. In the past, you know, some game devs have been well known for doing that. Like, look at Elden Ring on PC. I will admit, Square, you know, From Software have always been kind of iffy about their PC ports. You look at Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and even Dark Souls 3, they all kind of hung a little bit, you know, at first, and it took a little bit of time to get them to work. And so, but the PS5 version, I bought Elden Ring on PS5, it ran like a dream from the start. I didn't have a single issue. And so, I mean, that's sort of the thing with games like that. And then Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII's remake came out, and people complained that it wasn't, you know, it wasn't running very good. And then Strangers of Paradise just came out, and people talked about it not running very well on PC. I don't know about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I know Avengers had some problems, you know, on PC. Avengers had problems everywhere. It wasn't just freaking PC. But I think you understand what I'm saying, you know. I thought it said this door. Oh. Okay, how come some things I press X and it just... that you used it, and other things I have to manually click it? That's an annoyance. Oh. This looks like my dream place. Shitfire, shitfire. Why do I keep saying my grandmother's old line? Bathe in holy fire. Get off me. It's not dead. There we go. Kill the moth. Do I have to, like... Is there anything in here? I can't reach the computer. Burn, baby, burn. We operate the computer, yes. Umbrella Rotom System. Culture Experiment Room Staff Registry. Accessing. Enter your username. I don't have a username. So I guess I'll have to come back here. Put my shotgun. I've almost used up my flamethrowers rounds, so I've got to be very careful. I don't remember if you get any more for that, so you got to be very careful. But again, I'm sorry I didn't get to finish my sentence. Maybe I can sit down and process my thoughts now. You look at stuff like Cyberpunk and Elden Ring and any other games like I just mentioned off, and nowadays it takes a long time to get those games up to snuff. You know, No Man's Sky, it took years before that game was anything like what they originally promised for it to be. And I'm not saying that, you know, to throw shade at that game. I played it when it first came out, and I played it a couple of years later. And I will admit, it's amazing that they kept their promises and did what they said they were going to do. However, that doesn't erase the fact that, you know, I only came back to the game because some of my buddies were saying that it was better. And that's the only reason I did it, and because at the time I bought the PlayStation VR and I wanted to try the VR. But I honestly, you know, to me, I still felt like the time had passed for that game. You know, I wasn't enjoying it. I was just thinking, well, I paid $60 for it, so I better get my money's worth, because I didn't when it first came out. And I don't like living that way with my games. With Cyberpunk, I bought it when it came out. I started thinking something was odd about a week later, because I noticed that the performance was not really good. And I've mentioned in other videos some of the glitches I had with that game. You know, a multitude of issues. Get off me. Smoking weed. Kill all the Ivies in the laboratory with a flamer or flame rounds. Anyway, as I was saying, which one of these doors was key locked? I can't remember. I guess I'll figure it out as I go. You know, I didn't particularly like the game because of all the issues. And it wasn't like one or two issues, it was a multitude of issues. And we're on patch 1.52. And the game still feels incomplete. A lot of the things they promised weren't good. Weren't there, or just weren't done well. You know, I don't know how to properly word that. But it isn't what it was supposed to be. You look at a lot of things. Okay, is that a note there for me? User registration. Okay, I need this. Username guest. Password none. Valid for 24 hours. So I just need to type in guest into the computer. I should have grabbed that earlier. Anyway. You look at that very first, like, big mission, the one where you're stealing the tank thing from those Maelstrom people, you know, you have a multitude of options for how you wish to handle that. You can either just go in guns blazing and kill everybody you see. You can work with that Meredith woman and you know, get betrayed, but because the card is glitched and have to fight Maelstrom. You can hack the card and then make a deal with Maelstrom. You know, there's a little bit of... This key is useless now, discard it, yes. There's a lot of ways that mission can end. You can even end up sleeping with that Meredith woman, depending on, you know, how you do things and how the story plays out, you know, or you can end up talking to somebody completely different. And, you know, it really is amazing. You know, it's one of those levels where you can honestly say 3 people could play it and get completely different outcomes. And it's a shame that more games don't... Oh, come on. As I was saying, it's one of those things when you first play that, you think to yourself, wow, it's a shame that other games don't do what this game did, you know, that's incredible. But then the more you play it, you realize that that was the only mission in which you ever get to have that level of freedom as to your play style, you know. Stuff like karma checks or street kid checks, corpo checks, don't really do anything. For example, when you get to the hotel, when you're doing the heist to get the chip, I'm sorry to go off on a rant here, just let me pause and talk for a second. When you go there, if I first played the game when it first came out on PC as a street kid, you know, you still get up to your room, no problem. There's no issue with getting through there, you just say some dialogue. If you're playing as Corpo, which I did on PS5, the only difference is you have a dialogue option where you're an a-hole, and that's it. I mean, it ain't like it changes anything, or I got any different perks, or even some experience for using my style, for my Corpo life path. You know, it feels useless. A lot of pretty much everything feels useless. There's not really... It's like a Telltale Games game. You know, like how Lee would say something and say, and so will remember that. Or Commissioner Gordon will remember that, or anything, any of the characters. And realistically speaking, it's a very minute choice. You know, it had very little meaning or none at all. And so to me, you know, it didn't feel like an RPG. Deus Ex Human Revolution came out in 2011 or 2012. I can't remember the exact year. But it was fantastic, and it honestly had more variety of choices than Cyberpunk did. And it came out, you know, what, like 8 to 9 years later. And I honestly just don't see why nowadays games can't take its time and do things right. Okay, this is how I make a vaccine. I think that's something for Claire, if I'm not mistaken. But hopefully you understand my point now. What I mean is, you know, like back then, the only time you could ever like make improvements is if you released a greatest hits version or a director's cut.
You!
Oh crap.
You murdered my husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G-Virus, didn't you? But you'll never take it from me. This is my husband's legacy.
I'll just shoot you with a shotgun.
Where's that spy you were working with earlier? You know who I'm talking about.
What?
You really don't know anything, do you? You're so gullible. She's one of the operatives sent here by the agency. The only reason why she came here is to obtain the G-Virus.
That's a lie.
No, it's the truth. I discovered this when I did a background check on her. She specifically got close to John and became his girlfriend to get information about Umbrella.
That can't be. I know her. Ada wouldn't do something like that.
You don't know her.
If you don't want to believe it, I don't really care. You're about to die anyway.
You know I have a
What
shotgun.
happened?
At least Leon's smart enough to check a pulse. You've taken the... I like how it goes in its separate slot.
Sequence has been activated.
What?
Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Oh crap. Drop a save state. But anyway, to finish that idea before it goes out of my head, my point is, you look at a lot of modern games, and there's so many issues, and they feel incomplete, and then a year or two later, or three, they'll release a definitive edition, Game of the Year edition, whatever, with all the DLC. And you gotta remember, too, there's $50 season passes and stuff now. And in 98, you had to release your game finished, or it wasn't finished. You know, that's plain and simple. Only a few games ever got like an improved version, such as like Fatal Frame 2 on the Xbox. A lot of games on the Xbox got an improved version, which was the director's cut. Silent Hill 2, Restless Dreams, which also came to PS2 in the form of the Greatest Hits edition. That contains those upgrades as well. Gemma, something like that, Onimusha, was an upgrade form of the original Onimusha, which added some new things to it. And, you know, a couple other games here and there I could think of, you know, Resident Evil 2 DualShock version, which added, you know, whatever, a little bits of pieces here. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's how it was. And so you had to release your game complete the first time around. And nowadays, developers don't feel like they, really have to do that. I can release a game in a broken state for $60, go on Twitter and write a half-assed apology, and then 2 years later release the game again, or, you know, do all the updates. The review companies will all give it better reviews or update their reviews and say, is it worth playing in 2000 and XX? And then everything's fine. And I don't like that mentality. Now I gotta enter that in the computer and all that first, though. That's not gonna be fun. Which way do I go? I hope I'm going right. I don't know where I'm going. This is where I just came from. Okay, come on. Come on, move. I gotta go to the red door, I think. I don't know if the,
Leon. I've been waiting for you, Leon.
Of course.
What are you doing?
You know what this is about, so just hand over the G virus.
I don't believe this. Annette was right. About everything.
That's why I told you to leave without me, but you wouldn't listen. Now hand it over. Don't make me shoot you.
You can't do that. Ada! Ada, I've got you. Don't give up.
How?
Leon, it's over.
Apparently Leon doesn't know how to check a pulse.
Let me go.
Shut up. You're gonna make it.
It's too late, Leon.
I promised you that we would escape. You just have to help me out here.
I really wanted to escape with you, Leon. Escape from everything. Goodbye.
Bye, Ada.
Ada!
Next time, that'll teach you to do one of two things. Either double tap or learn to check a pulse correctly.
So, this is what everyone's been dying for.
It's good that you threw it down the same hole that Ada went. It's Ada's gun. There are no rounds in the magazine. What made her do that? She's a evil scientist. I would take the gun with me. If I had an empty holster left, you bet I'm taking that gun with me. In real life, you know, it's not like in the movies. Even if a gun is empty, it's got its uses. You know, that's life, you know. Even the only game I've ever seen that's done that properly was the game called I Am Alive. It was on the Xbox 360 and PS3 marketplace. I might play that eventually for you guys. You could hold an empty gun on people and they would think it was real and they might not attack you. I guess technically you can do that in Metal Gear Solid, but I don't remember if that is a mechanic, if it can still be empty and it'll still freeze. I ain't got time for this shit. Okay, I can't afford to risk my life anymore for this, so I'm just gonna shoot him. How does that not count as a hit? Okay, that cost me an extra shell there. I don't like that. Oh shit! What does it mean I don't need to use that right now? Verification disconfirmed. Do I still need to do the password thing? I'll drop a save just in case and I'll try to do it. I don't want to get blown up. There we go. Okay, come on. Ignore the creepy caterpillar looking things. Yes, operate the computer. D U E S T. Enter. There we go. Come on, move. I hate countdowns, they make me very stressful. I can work good under pressure, but I just don't like the idea of being rushed. Okay, come on, move, move, move. We gotta go.
Five minutes until detonation.
Okay, now we got a countdown. And it's still counting even during the cutscene, of course. Save state. There we go. At least it's a pretty generous one. A huge lift used to reach the platform when you activate it. Uh-oh. I guess I didn't kill her husband after all. He came back even meaner. Man, the kick on this thing now is insane. Crap. It kicked me so hard, it kicked me into the next camera angle. Defeat G-Type 3 in laboratory without taking damage and without using special weapons. Wasn't that hard. Oh, so that's not Birkin. Ow. I didn't do that one without taking damage. Dang. Okay, that didn't go well. Go ahead and have that Magnum equipped. Is there any, like, ammo or anything I need to be aware of? No. Fast forward. Ow. Fast forward. Oh crap. What's my health at? Caution. Come on, that's 4 Magnum shots. Get off me. Run. There we go. That is why you carry a Magnum. Told you, never worry about a 9mm in a zombie apocalypse. Always carry a 45 or higher. I'd always wanted to see one horror game that was trying more to be of a power fantasy on purpose. You know, like still be scary, which I guess is very hard to accomplish, but manage to have like that almost Duke Nukem feel, like playing like Doom or Blood, something like that, like a modern Blood where you like have dynamite and stuff, and you kind of feel empowered because of that. I'm going to drop a save. A little less than 3 minutes. Was that it? Who's that? That's not Claire, is it? Her colors are all different. Maybe it is Claire. Go, jump.
Leon!
Yeah, it's Claire. Oh yeah, she does lose her jacket, doesn't she? I forgot.
Are you okay?
It's kind of interesting how that became Leon's outfit, you know, with the knife on the shoulder and the black shirt.
No. I have to find my brother.
You're right. This is just the beginning.
Man, these cutscenes did not
Goodbye, Ada.
stretch well. Okay, so we finished it. Okay, great. So, I guess we're setting to this. I guess I'll go ahead and give my opinions then. I think I've made it pretty clear from the way I've talked already, but the game has held up remarkably. I honestly think that it still manages to be better than the original. I mean, than the remake, I'm sorry. The remake was good, but I felt like it's certain things... This one just had just that perfect difficulty. I died like, what? Less than 6 times? Which, you know, it more or less, it depends on how much ammo you use or how much you know about where to find certain resources and stuff like that. I did have save states to help me, you know. So maybe some people would die more, some people would die less. But to me, that's just the perfect level of difficulty. I felt like the remake, with the fact that zombies endlessly kept pouring in, you know, made it feel a little bit less like you're making progression. I felt like Mr. X chasing you wasn't necessarily fun. It was more along the lines of, you know, frustrating, because he chases you and you have to run away from whatever you're doing in order and try to run back. So say you're trying to get somewhere, you're taking off course, and I don't necessarily like that. I feel like that game would have been 10 times better for me if they made that an optional thing that you could toggle. Also, when I played Claire's campaign on the remake, it's almost the exact same. I mean, there's quite a few differences in the PS1 version. Whereas in the remake, the boss battle with Birkin is the same whether you're playing as Leon or Claire, you know. And it felt to me more like they didn't really plan better. You know, they wanted to make it one game. I don't even know if maybe they wanted Claire to be the main character of the remake, because she feels like she's tacked on and unnecessary. Or maybe they were trying to figure out what to do, but it really doesn't feel like there's any reason for you to go back and play the game twice, whereas at least in the original Resident Evil 2, there's a little bit more of a variance between them, and then there's the B scenario with Mr. X, which makes it feel like a tougher playthrough, which I like that better. You know, I like the design. I feel like that by making it always a B playthrough, there's no need to go back, if that makes any sense. Okay, now Leon's sporting a Magnum. Now he learned no more 45s. Ranking is C. It took me 5 hours and 1 minute 42 seconds. I only saved 4 times. But that's with save states, to be fair. Okay, save. Okay. It's not going to start. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Talking about the game, ultimately, like I said, the problems that stick out to me, the tank controls, while adding to the sense of horror in a lot of ways, and I do still like them, sometimes just isn't accurate. It isn't correct. It isn't necessary to play the game like in 2022 that way. I do think that, like I said, they're still functional, but stuff like some keys or items, like I go to put the fuse case in, I can't do that. I have to go into my menu and use the fuse case from there. But then certain key cards, I just press X on the door and it says you use the key card. I find that to be very annoying. I'd rather it be everything or nothing. Not being able to manually reload your guns, that's something that the GameCube remake of the original Resident Evil corrected, because you can actually reload your guns as long as you have them raised, which I appreciate that, because that's one less time you got to go into the menu. But that's not available here, so it feels like you fire off a couple of shots and you got to pause the game, go into the menu, reload your gun, and then all that. But other than that, I think that it's held up remarkably well. You're talking about a minor issue with some controls, and that's really about my only issue. The voice acting is dated. Back on the PS1, people didn't really care that much for, quality dialogue and voice acting, so it kind of sticks out for being a little strange. But I honestly kind of like it. I think it's got its charms. Like I said, when you look at how Jill just stripped off cuss words and there was more of an edgy tone in Resident Evil 3's remake, I kind of prefer this time period where, they didn't use a lot of language and, things are... It sounds a little bit more real in a lot of ways, even though it's the farthest thing from real, if that makes any sense. It kind of has like this weird, so bad it's good sort of theme to it, and I really like that. And then, like I said, I like the game. I liked how there's a good sense of progression, and every time you pick up a weapon, you feel like it's got a use and a heaviness to it. The Magnum is good for those boss battles. That's why you save the ammo for it. The shotgun is your 100% solution to any problem that involves multiple opponents or anything like a licker. And I love the way that they designed the game. Like I said, it's 2022 and the game still is fresh and it still holds up. Now, we will be covering Resident Evil 3 Nemesis at some point before... Like I said, I've already played the original, or the remake, so I would like to play the original. I remember it to be better. I remember a lot of the cut sections to be, better versions, in my opinion, than the remake. I was critical of the remake. I still am critical of the remake. I'm not going to say I'm one of those people that doesn't believe that believes that something's already been made, it doesn't need to be remade, because there are improvements that can be made. Look at the GameCube remake of the original Resident Evil. But to me, 2 and 3 just didn't feel like it had enough soul in it. It felt like it was to make money more so than it was to make a quality game. Like I said, a little bit more effort could have been put into 2's remake, and it would have been... It still is a great remake, but it could have been even better with just a little bit of upgrades here and there. And 3 was a shit show. I didn't like that. That was literally a cash grab. Resident Evil 2 did so well. 7 and 2 was sailing so high that they figured we can make a fortune if we release one more game in between it and Village. And that's what they did. And that was literally just to keep whetting people's appetites for Village. And I don't like that kind of business practices. Capcom doesn't need to do that. I would love to see a lot of other older survival horror games on the PS1 remade. I'd love to see Dino Crisis remade. I love Dino Crisis. I didn't care as much for 2, although some people liked it more. Said it found its own identity then. Honestly, I like it better as a horror game. Can you imagine what Dino Crisis would look like now? And yes, you could make it a little bit more actiony, but leave the kind of scariness to it. It would be one that would be really good to get the Resident Evil 2 remake treatment. I'd love to see that, and a few other games out there get their second chance. I think that there's an audience who wants them. I know I wanted to see Onimusha 2 and 3 and Dawn of Dreams, or whatever the other one was called, on the PS2, but on PC. But they only did the first Onimusha. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys will enjoy. I'll be uploading a lot more Dino Crisis after this, or you probably won't even see Dino Crisis until after this series comes up, but we'll be doing Dino Crisis. And then we will do Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and then we'll probably do Code Veronica. And then maybe we'll go on to the GameCube remake of the original. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening.